Okay, so let's try this again. Are we getting audio from the game this time? There should be music in the background. Well, I'm gonna try it a little bit more. There should be some footsteps. Have we got the audio sorted? Let's find out. Part of the problem is that I can't tell, because I can hear it all, and it's showing up on my dash as being present, but... So there's a theory it's quiet. Let's see if this helps. Those footsteps should be pretty audible. Okay, fantastic. I'm told we are in fact getting audio, so I'm gonna go back to starting my proper stream. So, again, hello, welcome, I'm Zilla. This is my live stream where we play and comment on video games with ancient world studies, content, and related stuff. So, today we are continuing our playthrough of the LucasArts game The Dig, a point-and-click from the early 90s, which was one of the ones that I grew up on, and my personal favorite. To give you a small recap of what happened in the first part, we are this character, Boston Lowe, a member of the US military, who was put in charge of a small astronaut team to go and bomb a giant asteroid that was headed straight for Earth. Now, he was given a team with some specialized skills because it was suspected that the asteroid was not natural, as it turns out not to have been. He and his team, Ludger Brink, an archaeologist, and Maggie Robbins, a reporter and linguist, found themselves transported somewhere far, far away, like galaxy-spanning far away, and are now on an alien planet in some alien ruins. Brink, unfortunately, managed to not follow regulations and get himself tumbled down this slope, and alas...
You could be irritating sometimes, but you sure didn't deserve to die.
Alas, he is no more. Maggie, in her grief perhaps, sauntered off to somewhere that we are not able to find her, and now we are left to just figure this place out on our own. We do have some random stuff, including a communicator, which does, surprisingly,
Robbins.
work.
Come in, Robbins.
Robbins here. What is it?
So we can actually talk to her.
I'm sorry Brink is dead, but I don't think it's right for you to blame me for it.
I don't blame you.
It's not safe for us to be separated.
It's not safe for us to be together either. In fact, Boston, it's just plain not safe.
I'm sorry that I can't protect against every possible accident. But that doesn't mean it isn't better for us to stay together.
Would you stop taking this personally, Boston? I'm doing my best to decipher the inscriptions that are all over the place here. Would you be any good at that?
No.
So please, go do what you're good at, and I'll stay where I am and do what I can do best. For instance, you might figure out how to turn on the lights around here.
So, I was talking to someone who was watching the previous stream, and they mentioned that, you know, it doesn't really make sense for them to split up, and I have to agree, I think this is the weakest part of the story, but I do kind of love that you can just go deep into these dialogue trees.
Brink's death scared me too, Maggie.
Well, it didn't scare me. I've seen people die before Boston. I've covered terrorism. I've covered executions. I've covered wars.
So what you're saying is, this is just another assignment for you?
Coming on the space shuttle to divert the course of Attila, that was just another assignment. Nobody ever asked me if I wanted to go to an alien world from which there might be no return.
Nobody knew.
You expected something alien, Boston, and you didn't tell me.
What if you had known everything? Coming here, being marooned, Brink dead.
Oh, shut up, Boston.
You would have come anyway, wouldn't you?
Don't you have something useful to do?
Yeah. DJ Trundlebot just pointing out for us that the dialogue, as with many of these old point-and-click games, was written by Orson Scott Card before we knew better than to trust his judgment. And I will say, no matter what else you can say about that guy, and there is plenty, he knows how to write dialogue. He knows how to make a conversation engaging.
Brink's still dead.
Thanks for the status report.
Okay. I don't
Thanks.
think we need to sit around talking to Maggie this whole time. Let's explore! So we are now in an alien ruin. That's our way back up to the outer canyon. We've got these little glowing plants all over the place.
Well, it probably wouldn't hurt too. The plants seem to draw energy from my body and disperse it among all the plants. They must share a common root system.
So, you know, he's not unintelligent, this fellow. He can, you know, be a little brusque at sometimes. I sometimes wonder if having this as one of my earliest inspirations is why I love Stargate so much. You know, the two figures of the archaeologist / linguist and the, you know, sounds dumber than he actually is military man doing space alien stuff. But unlike Stargate, which I do love, problematic fave, the ancient aliens in this case are really genuinely alien and had no contact with Earth. So that's a good deduction that the plants draw electricity from the body and disperse it through a common root system. Now what's this?
Looks like one of the control plates we found on Attila.
So, that's a good observation. What does it look like? What is it made out of? It's a metal plate. It's very regular. Now, picking stuff up and taking it with us, not the best archaeological survey tools, but, you know, we have to give him a bit of a pass. Let's see. Oh, we have an alcove here. And it looks an awful lot
Shallow indentations.
like the place the plates were on the asteroid. So, who knows? Maybe that's the way home. Now we have some doors around the place.
Doors everywhere. I wonder which one is the pay toilet.
And we've got more doors. This one has a little panel next
The
to
door
it.
is shut tight.
What's on this panel? You've got some buttons. If we hit them, they change shape. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a nice little sound effect that goes with that. So they also can change color. And they seem to go through all those same geometric forms we've seen before in a cycle. column to look at over here.
Somebody spent a long time engraving these smooth grooves on the surface of this column. I wish I knew what for.
So, that's an interesting observation, right? Like, these grooves are very regular, they're very smooth. You know, we've seen a lot of these jagged angles everywhere and these geometric shapes. So we're starting to kind of get a feel for the aesthetic of this civilization in that kind of thing. Now, he says somebody spent a long time doing this. I guess he's assuming that they have pre-modern tools for doing so. Because, of course, with like electric tools, you can change the shape of stone in a pretty regular way. But he is observing that there aren't, for instance, chisel marks. Nothing to indicate how it was made. So it was either done very, very lovingly and over a long period of time, or not by hand. Or appendage, I guess. One thing I do want to point out is that this is clearly load-bearing, whereas this column back here seems to have been, or is hopefully decorative, because look at that. That does not look like it was an intended angle. So it's kind of funny that this column here, it's not moving with the stones behind it, since they don't seem to have malformed, but it also doesn't seem to indicate any particular discrepancy in the stonework around it. So we've got another engraved rod. We picked one up in that spaceship last time.
Another one of these engraved sticks. What are they? Wands? Batons? Bludgeons? Maybe some kind of handheld computer game. With my luck, it's a hand grenade.
So as silly as that was, that is the sort of question that you want to ask when you pick up an artifact in an archaeological dig. What is this for? What's the utility of it? Let's see if we can look at this up close. Oh. So this gives us a lot of information, right? We have the base of the rod, which is just a purple rod. Fine. But what we actually have is not so much engraving, since these don't actually seem attached in any particular way, which is unnerving. But now that we've seen those panels that make these geometric shapes in these colors, we have a good idea that this might be something to do with those panels. But it's not ridiculous to ask those kinds of questions. What is this for? Is it, you know, is it a weapon? Is it a tool? Is it a game? Is it decoration? Is it a status symbol? Is it a ritual object? That one's a joke for my archaeologist friends. Although, certainly ritual objects exist, it's just not everything under the sun. So, there is some damage over here. It seems pretty structural. More doors, more doors, more doors, and then I think we've come full circle here. Okay. So, we have one engraved rod and two directions. A dark tunnel and a dark ramp. Any votes as to which way we go? Don't worry, we have a flashlight. Let's try this central ramp first. See what we've got. Aside from some amazing music.
It's hot here. And it's glowing down there. 10 to 1, it's the power source for this place. All I need to do now is to find the light switch. plug. Or the fuse box. Or whatever makes this thing work. An instruction manual might help. Maybe a map. And I could use a sandwich. And a hot jukebox and a cold beer. Or just a starship headed for home. Get a grip, Boston.
A perfectly reasonable reaction, quite honestly. So, if we look over this edge, we can see a few things. Trundlebot saying, what happens if you press Control B while in the normal view? Nothing. Nothing happens. I don't know what that's about. Anyway.
Hot and glowing. If it isn't the power source,
we get the
maybe I'm
whole
on the edge of
dialogue
hell.
Oh, just that bit. The edge of hell, huh? Well, I don't think hell is usually conceived of this way in particular, but it is kind of amazing that we have a power source in the middle of this. I mean, we know it's a high-tech civilization because we've experienced the, you know, the starship that we found outside. We know that there are these sort of electric ghost things that seem probably technical rather than magical. I mean, maybe that's just my interpretation, I don't know. But you also have a pretty straightforward puzzle here, right? So Boston asking those questions like, okay, this is a power source, how do I fix it? How do I get it working? Like Maggie was saying, how do we turn on the lights? So we look here and we can see...
I can see a lens way down at the bottom.
We have this big power source. We have a lens here.
I can see a lens way down at the bottom.
Yes, thank you. And
The
then we
lens
have
is missing.
one that's out of alignment, and that lens is missing, and...
I can see a lens way down at the bottom.
Yep. So we need some way to move this unattached lens into here. Not a terribly difficult puzzle to see how it's supposed to work, but then how do we do that? Oh, there's a loose plate. What's back here? Oh. I guess that's the literal light switch. Okay, so we've got some oddly shaped buttons. Oh. Okay. So this is the erase button. This must be like an execute button or something. And then we've got these 5 that give us something. Let's find out what. Nothing. That's just an erase all button. Who knows? Maybe we have to leave in order to see what they do. Did it do anything?
Hot and glowing. If it isn't the power source,
Didn't do
maybe
anything.
I'm on the edge of hell.
Oh. As you can probably tell from how I talk about this game, I have played it plenty of times. I do more or less know the solutions, but it's been long enough that I don't remember the details. Oh. Well, that seems like a way to interact. So it went up. No, it went left, up, right, down, down, and then who knows. So, okay, I guess we can program it. So, let's try out down 1, left 3, and then whatever this is. Theory pans out. Needs a little bit more precision. It's gonna need to go down at least 2 and over at least 4. So let's see if that was enough. Oh, I guess we got it. Didn't take that long. Okay, but then you just take the lens and... Okay. So we're gonna have to figure out how to send it to the correct spot. Let's try up to over 4. And I'm not gonna tell it to go ahead and do the thing because I don't want it to drop that lens again. It just seems like it'd be annoying. Definitely up more than 2. Second time's the charm? What do you think? That looks promising. Oh! Yes, it did.
There's a huge amount of energy flowing along this column.
I guess the lights are on.
When this rock fell from the ceiling, it must have cracked open an energy conduit under the floor.
Okie doke then. Now, I want to try this combo on one of the panels and see what happens. Now, I'm gonna have to try to remember this because you can't go back and forth to the menu easily while you're in there. So... let's see. Regular polyhedra. Let's go. Remember that this was a green one of these. I think. Is that right? Yeah, that looks right. Okay. So nothing happened there. What about this one? At least turning the power on is something that you don't need much as an archaeologist in the real world.
I hope this was a good idea.
Well, well, turns out it was a key after all.
So what is through this door? A death trap? A mad scientist with a pretty girl and a talking robot? An alien cafeteria? Why am I just standing here? After all, as Brink found out, the worst thing that can happen is you can take one wrong step and you're dead.
So, I do know that if we hadn't turned the power on, that wouldn't have worked. You need the power to be going before you can open the panels. But let's go see what's down here.
So much for the cafeteria idea.
Boston, are you there?
Ooh, Maggie's calling.
They use geometric shapes as a kind of combination for the locks.
Boston, you won't believe where I am. I'm in a place filled with alien technology, the most fantastic things I've ever seen. And the machines are working.
What are they doing?
I don't know yet. I mean, they're really alien. Like nothing I've seen before.
Don't go too fast, Maggie.
I'll be careful, Boston.
No,
But
you
it's
won't.
not like we have time to use correct scientific procedures to test these things.
Where are you? How can I get to you?
I wish I knew. It's a sure thing you can't get here the way I did. I slid through a low tunnel in the rock, and then it kind of got filled with debris when the roof collapsed.
You could have been killed.
Gee, I guess this isn't safe. But if we'd been together, whoever went through the crack second would definitely have been killed. Keep that in mind when you're thinking about coming to save me. I handled it just fine.
Yeah, I guess you did.
We're both doing okay, Boston. We'll find a way to connect up with each other when it matters.
Maggie? Good work.
Thanks, Boston.
Nothing about that conversation made any sense. It's just a terrible idea. Let's wander off on our own on an alien planet and slide through cracks in the rock after one of our party already died. Oh no, that is not good work. But that's okay. So it's nice that the stairs have not suffered any damage. This is an interesting smooth track here. Wonder what that's going to be all about. He doesn't seem to want to go down into it. I do know what it's for. So this little triangular post. It's glowing. Some kind of button. Giant hamster ball! And material from out of nowhere. That's not concerning at all. I know what I'll do. I'm gonna walk into the giant hamster ball. I just love this game. The animations, the music.
Now I know what my pet hamster felt like.
Presumably it doesn't actually tumble him about in that ball. I mean, he is an astronaut, so he probably wouldn't lose his lunch, but I don't think he'd be comfortable, and I don't think anyone would design it that way. So presumably it's got an inner one that just is stabilized. So, what do we got here? with an interesting shape of door. I wouldn't have known those were doors if it hadn't
I need
told
some
me.
help to pry this door open.
Some help, like shovel?
I need some help to pry this door open.
Guess not. What about a tusk? It's nice that they made
I
animations.
need some
for
help to pry
those.
this door open.
I think they mean a second person. But yeah, the
Nothing could
aesthetic,
open this door.
the aesthetic's very interesting, right? Like this, whatever used these spaces wasn't too much taller than a human, or fitting through these doors wouldn't really work. But it might have been wider than a human. Well, not too much, or it would be awkward getting through. The stonework is interesting. You see that there's these arches with no keystones, no like centralized post to hold it together with gravity, and that likely means that these were not built by appendage. these were tool made somehow. And we get these freestanding ones, which again, not so much. Okay, so we came out of the tram tunnel. Ooh, a fossil. Let's look at the fossil. So we can see a fossil of some aquatic-ish being? I don't know. It's hard to tell what it was. Doesn't look too different from Earth-style life in terms of, like, okay, it's got several limbs that are recognizable, it's got sort of a pelvis-y thing here, and presumably this is the tail and this is the head then? If you look close, you can kind of see their little ribs. It's got some sort of shell, but it's got a two-part shell. Not much like anything. Well, maybe kind of like a horseshoe crab almost. So we can go up or down. I want to see what's down.
Plenty of water here. If it's drinkable, then we won't die right away. We'll have plenty of time to starve to death.
Cheerful, isn't he? Hey, look! It's a little dude. Oh, it's a big dude. That's a problem.
If Maggie were here, I'd tell her not to take a chance on swimming in the same water with a large eel that may or may not think of her as dinner. So maybe I'll take my own advice and stay on dry land.
Right. So, probably that little dude, little critter, I mean, it looked an awful lot like the fossil, right? Like it had a two-part shell, several recognizable limbs, and a head and a tail. But then that giant sea serpent thing, wowza. So, okay. But hey, we know that there is living fauna on this world aside from the rat creatures. That's good to know. Let's see what's up. There's a strange device here. Ghost.
Another ghost. The last one pointed the way down into the Nexus. Of course, that's how Brink died.
Are they friendly? It's hard to say. That's an arrangement. No notion of what these inscriptions mean. We've had good luck poking buttons before. Oh, it made a noise. now a bright light emanating from this lens. So I guess that's what that does. What do you have to say about it? Whoa! That's not recommended practice. I thought he was actually going to say something about it, even though I knew what it did. So these light bridges, they are made out of hard light somehow, and you can walk across them, and this becomes a shortcut when you want to get among these spires. And you can see from out here that the central design that you saw inscribed on that device was actually a map of these 5 spires and the central pentagonal region. So there's a crystal form out here. Let's go see. The heck are you?
It doesn't look safe to walk there.
It doesn't look safe to walk where you are, bub. Okay. Guess that's all we're getting. Let me just show you what I mean. So, right, so we have a very geometric figuration of the 5 spires and the central island with its landing zone. So, whatever this glyph is, it must relate somehow to the light bridge. Or potentially to the spire we're on. I actually have no idea. They don't give us a lot of the inscriptions to work with, honestly. So let's see what's in this door.
A bunch of displays set into the walls. Inscriptions here and there. I'd say it looks like some kind of museum.
What's this green thing?
Strange glowing crystals.
Wonder what you have to say.
I have 2 crystals.
Yeah, you do. What do you have
That's the cool little flashlight I got from the power room.
Okay. So we've got an engraved tablet here. Let's see if
Symbols written on a plate. Looks like an alphabet.
Let's see if we can examine that. Oh, check it out. I don't know what he thinks looks like an alphabet here, to be honest. This looks very pictographic. It could certainly be writing of some kind, but it also, like, we have this repeated motif. I wonder... Yeah, I wonder if Maggie has anything to say about any of this. Let's ask her.
Robbins. Come in, Robbins.
Robin's here. What is it?
Let's ask her about this
Can
tablet.
you see this on your communicator screen?
Some kind of inscription?
I found this in the museum. Can you read it?
In the museum, like that means anything to her.
It's not the same set of symbols I'm finding in the database here. I don't think it's designed for strangers to be able to read it.
Database? Alright.
I wish you could read this inscription. I keep thinking that it really matters.
Give me a chance to get a handle on their language first. I'll give your inscriptions a try when I can.
Huh.
These crystals seem to have a fluorescent fluid within them.
Everything here is interesting.
You won't believe what I found, Maggie. The central island and the 5 rock spires around it aren't just connected by underwater trams.
Which you also didn't tell her about.
There are also light bridges leading from the spires to this amazingly transparent crystal above the center island.
A bridge made from light?
I know, it doesn't make any sense, but it's true.
That's
Their
one of
technology
those.
is so far advanced beyond ours that I don't know if anything could surprise me now.
That's one of those things that's kind of funny because, of course, hard light is actually a thing that we have been able to engage with in certain ways. It's a very, like, MIT experimental thing where they, of course, tried to make lightsabers, basically. But we'll see. Someday, maybe, we will be able to walk on light. I don't have any clue if that's how that works.
If they can make bridges out of light, you have to wonder if they can make anything else.
You mean light beer?
I was thinking more of a lighthouse.
That was terrible. Let's see if they've got more.
Light-footed.
Light salad dressing.
You know, I don't think I ever noticed that she mostly comes up with food items. That's a little annoying.
Light summer clothing.
Delighted.
Okay. I'm not going to go through their entire list of puns. It's probably very long.
Maggie, I found a plate like the ones in the asteroid that triggered our journey here.
For all we know, any plates we find might send us on a voyage to the opposite edge of the galaxy.
Tell you what, I'll keep looking for more of them and you decipher that language so we can
What
read
language?
the directions.
What are you talking about?
Great. You get to look for metal things lying around on the ground while I have to decode a completely alien language without any information about how they think or what they might be writing about. Yeah, that's a fair division of labor.
I mean, you chose it. I think.
Still looking for more of these plates, Maggie.
While you're at it, see if you can find a big juicy steak. Or, I'm not fussy, a nice salad, or even a couple of grapes.
Alright,
Thanks.
I think that's enough of that. So we have these odd little niches. Let's take a look. It's funny how they cut out so much of the discussion that would actually need to happen to make these conversations make sense. Oh. Well, we know what that is. Huh. So let's watch that again, and I'll sort of talk through what we're seeing. So we've got iconography of that spaceship that we were brought here in, sinking into the island, then a geometric display of the topography, and then two different kinds of aliens meeting each other and walking into a... Maybe those are meant to be buildings? I don't know. So that's fascinating. That seems to, like, kind of describe the ship that they sent out to seek other intelligent life and bring it back so that they could meet them. That's pretty cool and also pretty disturbing since there doesn't seem to be anyone to meet us. But who knows? It's been many thousands of years, probably. Yeah. Aliens who look like ET
Could
followed
this
by
be
the
some
logo
sort
for
of
a
burial
full cell
chamber?
signal. Burial chamber? Where'd you get that idea? Well, so we've got some kind of big alien dude being put into a pyramid by smaller alien dudes. Moon, a hole in a spire, some kind of plant or rod, maybe it's a tree. I don't know why he thinks it's a burial chamber, but the full moon behind the tree is very pretty.
The larger moon is being eclipsed by the smaller one.
That's a good point. There are 2 moons. Something you can also see here is this giant image of some other alien planet with rings. There's no way that you would be somewhere where that would be visible like that. Even if this were a moon of another planet, which clearly it is not. Well, I guess it could be. A moon can have moons, right? Does that happen? Now I really want to know. Hey, any astronomers in the audience, tell me about it in the comments. But this kind of sky, very striking. Definitely meant to tell you that you're not home, but very unrealistic. It's way too big. So we're getting the sense that the winged aliens, which honestly kind of look like our electric ghosts anyway, are the ones who lived here. So that actually tells us a fair amount just on its own. I'm really interested in this technology that they have that seems to be able to display images, 3D images, but only on a flat plane, like so indent and bas-relief, basically. And it's basically like a moving bas-relief. And that technology seems very strange. There's no color in it. It doesn't actually, like, show motion like a movie or a video game. They're stills, but it does have the ability to transform from one to the other, kind of like an Etch-a-Sketch or something, or like one of those things where you put your hand in the back to make impressions, but programmed. So, I mean, maybe it's an art piece, like he said, but it also seems like these are intended to communicate visually with somebody who's not familiar. So this might actually be an intentional place for these for these aliens to go. This might be meant for us. What is that? Looks like a ladybug. Oh, but it's dropping goo over a skeleton. Some kind of amoeba. Oh! Makes a person whole again. That's something. Ooh. There's another engraved rod. Maybe we can open another door when we go back to the Nexus.
Another one of these engravings on a stick.
That's an item? Wow. Why
That
are
canister sure packs a punch.
they teaching us about bombs? That doesn't seem like the first sort of thing you want to teach an alien species when they come to your world. But what do I know? Hey, we found Maggie.
Boston!
Maggie, I found you.
I wasn't aware that I was missing.
You know what I mean. I found a way to get where you are. Through the museum, back that way.
That's nice, Boston. If that's the museum, then I guess this is the library.
I found out how to open doors back in the Nexus. There's a tram that leads out here.
Look, Boston, I think it's great you're finding things out, but I'm trying to concentrate here.
Rude.
I feel like I'm so close to making sense of some of this stuff, and I just want to stay here and keep working. All right?
Sure, of course. Anyway, I know where to find you, and you know how to get out of here if you want to.
Thanks. Yes. When I learn something, I'll call you on the box, okay?
All right. All right, yes, I won't bug you anymore right now.
I really don't understand why she's tetchy at him for that, but...
I've decided that has to be a control console for a data retrieval system. When I use the controls, different inscriptions appear. Sometimes different languages. If English comes up, I'll let you know.
Huh.
I don't think we'll be able to fix this screen.
Well, I guess that's all we're getting from here, but that is, I guess, supposed to explain how Maggie knows what a tram is and whatever. I guess if you're just running around looking for Maggie and not paying attention to your surroundings, you might get here first. But I really have no idea how she came to that conclusion. Although I wish we could poke the controls on one that works and see the inscriptions ourselves. Alas, it does not give us that option. I just want to go back down to the water. It's pretty out here. Oh, it's our turtle friend again.
That creature is beautiful. It has the appearance of a six-legged turtle. It makes me wonder if they have a common ancestor back on Earth. Unless it's just a coincidence of parallel evolution.
Could be. I was gonna say the thing about swimming again.
If Maggie were here, I'd tell her not to take a chance on swimming in the same water with a large eel that may or may not think of her as dinner. So maybe I'll take my own advice and stay on dry land.
I do like our turtley friend. Okay. Oh, let me out of here. Okay. Let's just head back to the Nexus. Every time I say that, I think of that Amaranth song. If you don't know what I'm talking about and you like metal at all, look it up, it's great. Yes, I can skip these sequences, but I like them, they're pretty. Alright, so... I've got a new key. I still haven't gone down this dark tunnel. Alright. Let's look at our new key. What do we got? Red hexagon, green tetrahedron, red tetrahedron, blue tetrahedron. What color was that? I just said it aloud and then I lost it. Okay. Not that one. Okay, what about did, right? Yeah. Okay, so not that one. Oh, there's one more to try. That'll do. Kazap. Got what looks like another, what do you call it, tram station? Let's push the button.
Uh-oh. The other trams came as soon as I called them. Maybe there are some controls somewhere.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't know what he's talking about, plural trams. We've only seen one other, but, okay. Well, if we can't go down that way, then I guess we should try this dark tunnel. I love the details in the rock. These little reflective chips. The local stone has some kind of, I don't know, maybe mica or quartz inclusions. It's interesting because it's clear this tunnel was carved on purpose, and yet it had that almost statue. We come out into this glass environment. You would think that having this many joins would make it weak, especially if it's under pressure from outside. Oh, we got some kind of button. Okay, well, that took care of that glass. Ooh, it's a little airlock, huh? So what's in here?
This looks like a command center.
Some kind of command center. Let's look out the windows.
I can see a tunnel that connects to the island I just came from.
So some kind of command center. We can see the underwater tunnels from here.
I see many undersea tunnels, all leading from the large central island to the smaller islands.
So I guess this is the tram control system, or at least that's what that's supposed to tell us. So let's take a look at this panel and see if we can figure out how to make it go.
This hole is empty. This hole is empty. This hole is empty.
Yeet?
This crystal is lifeless. It's an energized crystal.
Okay, so the crystals, they are integral, and we can see that we've got some kind of connector system. One of the trams is dark. Assume it's that island because the other four are all lit up and working, and so far, lit up means functional. Do we have anything at all we might use here? I'm gonna go with no. But, I'm not sure what we're supposed to do next. But I have one other thing I can think of to do. And then once that's done, I think we're gonna call it an end to today's stream. Because you know what I have? I have these glowing crystals. And we had that one display in the museum that suggests that maybe these glowing green goo things...
Who knows if this will even work? Even if these really are the same crystals I saw resurrecting an alien in that museum display, they weren't designed for humans. But it's worth a shot.
Here goes nothing. Oh, that animation.
Brink, are you okay?
I feel fine. What happened? I remember digging, and the ground gave way under me.
Brink, you've been dead for several hours.
You Americans, always exaggerating.
Yipes.
I assure you, Brink, no pulse, no breath, dead. But I found a couple of life crystals in a museum, and from a display there I got an idea of how to use them.
That's a real good way to introduce a concept.
Where's the crystal? I have to see it.
I wasn't sure it would work on a human being.
Our cellular structures must be very similar. Boston, it didn't just bring me to life. It brought me to life. I feel more powerful, more energetic, more alive than I've ever felt before.
Okay, so
Maggie,
the dialogue isn't
do you read
always
me?
100% great.
Yes, I do. I hope this is important.
I think so. Brink isn't dead anymore, Maggie.
You have a very sick sense of humor.
That is a fair
Goodbye.
response.
No, wait, I'm serious.
Deadly serious.
Wow.
Brink! I can't believe it.
It was a crystal I found in the museum. The display there showed it bringing someone back to life. So I tried it.
A crystal that heals the dead. If we ever get back home, this will change the world. It'll change everything.
It's not just being alive again, Maggie. I feel perfect.
Well, that's
I
not
feel like I
worrisome at
never
all.
knew what good health was until today.
Now it's all the more important we find a way home.
It's always kind of important to me.
Keep exploring, Boston. I'll get back to work on the language.
You got it, Maggie.
Well, you
That
wanted
could
to
be
see
a
it.
really bad idea.
Ha! Alright. So I think that is where we're going to stop streaming for today. I hope you enjoyed the sinister twist of bringing back the dead. Next time, we will figure out what our necromancy hath wrought. Thanks so much for tuning in and for putting up with our small technical issues at the beginning. Hopefully we will just get it working next time, first thing. Alright. Have a good weekend, everybody. Keep learning, friends.